Hi, how are you?
I am great. How are you?
I'm good. I'm itching for the next episode already from.
What episode are you in?
There's two more this season.
What episode? I'm sorry.
There's I guess it would be eight or nine.
Okay. Oh, so you're watching. Okay, nice, nice.
Yes, well, I've followed every season so far. So
That's great. That's great. How you like it?
and I love it. I mean, it's a great show and it's got great characters and an interesting story and evidently a dog that's unhappy.
It's right next to me. I'm sorry.
That's okay. I have dogs too. So tell me, what was your first, response when you read the first script
The first episode ever?
ever?
Mm, I thought it was an interesting idea of having people being stuck in a town. But then my next question for the creators were like, well, are we gonna be like stuck? Like nobody's gonna be able to leave or come? And they're like, actually, yes, there's gonna be able to leave and come. I'm like, oh, that's interesting. So are they gonna figure it out if they're gonna go? And they're like, I don't know, we just have to wait. That's always been like how they deal with us, all these all our questions are always, I don't know, maybe. um uh that was something that I was very curious to see in the first season, how it was going to be developed, because if you have people stuck in a town, it's like, okay, so what's going to happen, monsters and people, and what's the thing that are gonna make people watch this show, and they have developed it beautifully. I mean, they kept it under wraps, which is great because no one can tell anything to anyone. Even as actors, when we have those kind of questions, we're like, well, so what's gonna happen? Is this gonna happen? Is And they're like, maybe. And I love that. But I think it's nice how the show has developed, and now we're in season three, and it keeps developing in something interesting, and the characters are well defined, and we know who is who in that town, and I love that. I enjoy that very much.
Right. And your character, Tabitha, is really she's a strong, very tough character when it comes to, emotional and psychological things. You've had a lot happen.
Yeah.
And your character's right there, just keeps trying and doesn't give up. And I really appreciate that.
Oh, good, good. Yeah, I think it's something that, I don't know if you have children. I do, but if you I think that the worst pain that any mother can feel, or any human can feel, is losing a child. And she survived that, barely. And to be stuck in this town now with monsters, you just don't understand, what do you mean monsters? And your children are growing in this place, and you're trying to be that kind of person that are, as a parent, you try to protect your children, but you can't, because there's so many things that are out of your control. So it's a lot. I think they put Jim and Tabitha in a very hard place, where they want to be the best parents they can be, but they still have problems. They were going through a divorce for a reason. um and it's yeah, it's a lot.
Out of it, this season so far, what has been uh, the most difficult for your character to cope with, you think?
um I mean, I just have to say, it's the fact that you're stuck with someone that you wanted to get divorced. I think that has to be tough. That has
Been
to be.
there.
I bet. I mean, like, we all, at certain degrees, have been in those kind of relationships where you just want to leave, but you can't. But there's something on the back of your mind that you're like, I can't leave him because you feel insecure before. But then when you put these people in a pressure cooker, basically, because you have to be a good parent, you have to save your children, you have to protect yourself, and you're dealing with someone that you were about to divorce. It's, I think that's a lot. It's a very small line. But if you see the scenes that I have with Jim, they've always been very, aside from that fighting scene that we had in episode 7 or 8, I think. It's always very loving relationship. Like that's the only time that you see them really go at each other's throats. But it's very, they really tried. They really tried, and they really try to make it work, not for the kids, but for themselves as well. So it's a lot they've been through.
What do you think that fans can expect from the remaining episodes for this season?
So much you don't even I mean, they do this right, they do this great, because at the end season 10 is insane from beginning to end. I think episode 8 was really good too. You just started to go to where the season is going to end, and you see a lot of things happening and moving in motion, and episode 9 and 10 are fantastic. You're going to be flabbergasted in so many ways, good ways of course, but you're just going to be shocked at a lot of things that evolve in those 2 episodes. Is going to be a great season ending for sure.
What do you think about, From seems to have a lot of kind of hardcore fans, and I have
Yeah.
seen a ton of fan theories, on, different social media groups and things. What is your opinion of the fan theory that the characters are actually seeing their future selves? Like, for example, the that Victor's father is the man that is strapped hanging in the lighthouse.
This is what I love. My son is 15 and he adores the show, and he's one of those, what if? What if? What do you think? Do you think? I have no idea. I love that people take so much time to think about the show and what ifs. It means that we have given them enough clues for them to make a picture for themselves and what they think it should look like and what they think it should feel. The show, I love, Victor's. I never thought of that. I never thought of that. But in this world, it can be possible. I mean, like all the theories that my son sent me from Reddit and Facebook, I was like, that could be possible. I never saw it that way, but sure, why not? Of course. Everything that people think it's possible. And I don't like to go into that rabbit hole because there's so many things that you're like, maybe they figured out this place. Because I haven't figured out that place. Every time I think I do, then it's like, oh, maybe not. So it's always good. It's always like a question that I have about my character and when is it gonna go, and where is her place in that world. Um, and that's what makes this job fun. That's what makes this job, you know, uh, uh, it's one thing to make a movie and from start to beginning where it ends and how it develops, but it's a different thing to do a show where you have no idea what's going to happen, and you have no idea as your character where you are, like in that place, what is that place. No, you usually, if you're making a movie, you know where you are because that's part of your acting, but this is awesome. Like, you have no idea, you're going with the motion of like, okay, maybe we're going this place, oh no, we're not, okay, we're going to this route. And I love that. I love working with the people that created it, and everyone is just in the same boat, and we decided that we're going to trust the process, and we are, and it's great.
Right. And it is evidence of a great series when you have people making up fan theories and stuff. That's, that really is a sign of something done right.
Sure.
And I can't wait to see how the season ends and hopefully how next season ends and, on and on.
we'll see what happens. I have my hopes up, and I can wait to keep developing this character, and I can wait to keep reading what people think about my character and other characters and theories, and it's just fun to do that.
It is. And I thank you so much for taking the time to talk with me.
Of course, thank
And
you.
and we'll definitely keep following, Tabitha and what her story is as it unfolds.
Hell yeah, I love that. Thank you so much.
Thank you. You have a good day, okay?